Buenos días y bienvenidos a Argentina.
Argentina has such a diverse landscape. In Northern Patagonia, you've got La Pampa. It's covered in fertile soil and the vast pampa grass, and it's so uncharacteristic of what I originally thought of when I think of Patagonia. Red stag in the roar and water buffalo in Argentina have been something that have been on my list for a very long time.
March, April is the main time for hunting red stag here in La Pampa. It's when all the action happens, all the rut, the stags start roaring. I'm Santiago Rossi, I'm 35-year-old, and I'm a big game outfitter in La Pampa, Argentina.
You know, I think one of the greatest things about the hunting industry, hunting in general, is not only the sense of adventure, but it's the relationships that you form. I met Santiago Rossi 8 years ago on an elk hunt in the Flat Top Wilderness in Colorado. And that relationship that we formed in the field has turned into a lifelong friendship.
So Poitahue is based in the northern part of Patagonia. We're in kind of the center, northwest part of La Pampa province. Estancia Poitahue is still a cattle ranch. Ranch cattle during the whole year and pursue game during the hunting season. The name Poitahue comes from the Indians that they used to run this area, the Rankel tribe, and it means place that you can see far away. We have it's pretty flat land, but we have some hills on the ranch. There was that lookout point that the Indians from the area used to kind of use as a protection, just to see far away when danger was coming. Our main game will be red stag. We also have a really good population of black bucks, water buffalo, fallow deer, wild boars, Russian wild boars, and some different species of rams and goats.
This time of year is the time that you hunt the roar, and to have an opportunity to get it done with a bow, it's going to be awesome.
As soon as we heard that first roar that first morning, I was just like, man, this is why you come hunt red stag.
Red stag been brought to La Pampa around 1920 by a really wealthy guy from Buenos Aires that at that time he used to have kind of a castle and pretty near what is now the capital city of La Pampa, Santa Rosa.
Anybody that's elk hunted knows the same feeling when you hear that first bugle, and then the reality sets in that we're actually here and we're doing this.
Cut them off. Yeah, like elk when they're moving up to bed. Yeah. See, it's warm early today. Yeah. So it's 7:30 and it's already warm, so they'll quiet down and start bedding soon. We'll try to listen a little bit more, see if we can locate another one. From there, have a good wind still, warm, yeah.
Red stag hunting is super exciting. During the rut, you get out super early in the morning and you start chasing the roars, and here most of our hunting ground is pretty thick bush or thick woods, so you never know what you're getting. Try to get in close to get a look if they're mature animals that you can put a stock on and try to get it with the bow. Is super exciting and challenging.
That first morning kind of set the tone. The stags, they were roaring, but largely they were still bachelored up.
Got a stag about 150 meters away, and he's rubbing his head and scraping in the dirt.
Getting to look at the terrain and seeing how flat it was, although there was pretty good grass from a bow hunter's perspective, I knew it was going to be difficult unless it got colder and it really got the stags fully rutting.
Don't keep working our way here. We might have to wait, but yeah, they're coming.
When they're bachelored up, for the most part, it just makes it very difficult, not only to get close, but then to put a stalk on.
If you've ever wondered about coming down to Northern Patagonia and what the terrain's like, it's very similar to areas that I've seen or hunted in South Texas or South Africa. You've got sandy soil, you've got, in places of the ranch, you've got big wide open grasslands that look like the Serengeti, and then you've got patches of forest and timber. And so you get a mixture of terrain, and these animals just thrive here. We saw 3 mouflon rams run into a section of trees, and we came in, we had to get the wind right, so we came around, and as we were moving through the trees, there was a tremendous amount of cattle. This is a full-time working cattle ranch in La Pampa. And so that's just something, again, that you have to contend with. That can work to your advantage, and it can work to your disadvantage. We got to about 40 yards. The first ram, for whatever reason, he took off. But the second ram was actually the more mature ram, and so we just happened to get lucky. And I was able to use the trees as cover and get to within 20 yards. He was eating. He actually turned to look at us, but he had no idea what was going on. And as he quartered, I took the shot. The shot was good. The arrow went straight through him. He ran about 70 yards, and we made the recovery.
What do you think, Santi?
Pretty cool looking.
They are. Very cool.
These European mouflon are just beautiful animals. They're a lot smaller than I imagine.
Beautiful old ram. These were brought over years ago from Europe. They've done very well here in La Pampa, Argentina.
The coolest thing for me about going on an international hunt is getting to hunt with somebody that's grown up a hunter just like you did. You know, I grew up in Arkansas, and the guys in Argentina, a lot of them didn't speak English, and I don't speak much Spanish. But it's so cool to just you find a way to get it done. That's what I love about these trips, is it gives me an opportunity to learn from them and just perfect my trade craft.
He's a lot bigger than the 2 that were at the lodge.
That will be very similar to the longer one there.
There's also a good number of fallow deer on the ranch, and we had an opportunity midday when the stag are bedded. As we came into the woods, Jorge was able to locate a buck that was bedded at the base of a tree. I don't know how I even saw him, because it seemed like an eternity to even get my glass on him. The buck had no idea that we were there. And as a bow hunter, you're arguing what's the best plan of attack. I was arguing with myself, but I thought if I went closer, I was going to spook the buck out. So it was just like mule deer hunting. We just had to wait him out and wait for him to stand and take the shot. As he stood, I came to full draw, and he was quartered away, and I took the shot, The shot was a touch high. I couldn't pick up a range on his horns, and he was bedded in a depression, and so I shot the tree, and he was just a touch behind the tree. We were able to locate him and put on another stalk, and I was able to slip in another arrow, and that was the end of it.
I can't get over how pretty they are. Beautiful fallow. All these points. Doesn't have the heavy paddle on this side, but he's got all these points. Yeah, old mature fallow.
It doesn't rain much in where we are in Northern Patagonia in La Pampa, but it's been a downpour for about the last hour. Incredible animal, chocolate fallow. I'm so proud to be able to do it and take it with a bow. The Argentinian hospitality is just first class. It's just truly a special experience, and really, you know, solidifies what I thought about not only Argentina and La Pampa, but the people in general. They're tough, hardworking people, and they go above and beyond to make sure that you have a wonderful experience.
So in between the morning stag hunts, there's a large number of water buffalo here in Northern Patagonia and in Patagonia in general. Santi said, "Hey, do you want to pursue water buffalo?" I said, "Absolutely." That's one of the reasons behind the stag that we came to Northern Patagonia. I was only shooting a 400 grain arrow, and so I was a little bit worried about the penetration on the buffalo. I've hunted buffalo in Africa. You know, next to bow hunting, you know, hunting with an open sight rifle would be the next best.
It's very hot today. We're gonna give the stag a break this evening. We came out to look for buffalo. Looks like a pretty big bull up here, about 800 meters. So we're gonna put a stalk on. It should be a lot of fun if we can get on it.
We located a buffalo. He was feeding away, and it was just set up perfectly from the get-go. First shot anchored him, and he just turned and looked at us. And at that point, I reloaded and took another shot, square on in the chest. That was the end of it, on a big old mature Northern Patagonia water buffalo.
We spotted this guy, and we were able to put on a stalk, and we got to within 20-25 yards. I've never hunted buffalo with open sights, and so super excited. Incredible experience, and so proud.
Hunting is a big resource for all the people that live around here. We have several guys working all season, all the staff at the house. It's a good source of income for them. The good part is, like, all the game we shoot during the season, we give away a lot for the guys in the community. So, and nothing goes to waste.
The stag hunting this week, it's been interesting, and it's hunting. On the first morning, there was a lot of roars. I thought, okay, it's going to happen. It's very humbling with a bow to get within bow range. A lot harder than I ever imagined it would be.
Well, I really love to hunt and pursue game with any kind of weapon, but bow hunting for me is the biggest challenge, and I really love that.
Fortunately, the last day, it was cooler that morning, and we heard a single roar, and we were able to pinpoint that stag and put a stalk and get in close.
Chasing red stag this morning. Spot stalk.
We heard the roar, and we also heard 2 stags fighting. And we were able to get glass on the stag, and at that point I knew immediately this is a stag that we want to go after. And after 6 days of hunting, that was the first opportunity that we actually had on a mature stag at bow range.
We had a stag up here. We just got an arrow in. We heard him roar, and he was hooking the tree, so we were able to come get the wind right. Pretty much just slip in. Shot was about 56 yards. Oh, I think we got a good hit.
We jumped string a bit, and the arrow was a touch back.
Got a full pass through.
So we decided at that point, let's back out. We couldn't see him, he ran. Let's come back to camp and calm him down. And thankfully, after a couple hours in camp, we went back and we were able to track him and go right to him.
Thank you, Jorge. Congratulations. Thank you, Santi.
Well done.
Man, these are beautiful. And he didn't go as far as we thought, but I'm glad we decided to let him rest.
Yeah.
Can't get over these horns. I mean, that crown, I've never seen that. I've only hunted elk, and they're similar in ways, but these,
Yeah, they're beautiful
these
crowns.
crowns are
Long
just
tines and a lot of
yeah.
musk all the way to the top.
regal. We're down here in Northern Patagonia, and I was so fortunate today to take an animal that's been a dream of mine to hunt. I mean, these things have points all over them. It's actually hard to grasp until you see them in person. And I've hunted a fair amount of elk in my life, and I love elk hunting, but hunting these animals, it's been tough this week, but to get it done finally with a bow, it's truly a dream come true.
When I think back on this hunt, it was an epic adventure, and I always come back to it's the relationships that were formed. Meeting Jorge and the guides and the guys in camp and the camera guys, and being able to hunt with Santiago. That's what the adventure is really about. It's a great hunt, it's epic, but what you really take with you is the friendships that you form in hunting camps, and those memories last a lifetime.